Hey everyone and welcome to our channel. This video will be a beginner guide on ClickUp. So if you're considering making the switch to ClickUp from other tools like Trello, Asana or even Monday, then this kind of tutorial will help you make an informed decision. I'll be covering ClickUp pricing and comparison to its biggest alternatives, how the ClickUp hierarchy is structured across multiple teams and businesses, common new user mistakes and how to avoid them, and so much more. So you can expect to learn everything you need to know to become a ClickUp pro without getting overwhelmed. So first things first, let's look at ClickUp's various pricing plans and how they compare to competitors. And my personal honest take after using ClickUp for quite some time now is that it has by far the most affordable and transparent pricing. Plans start from totally free and scale up based on your needs. You can literally get more value and capabilities on ClickUp's cheapest paid plan than some of the competitors' highest tier plans. There's also the free forever plan, which is far more generous than the competitors, enough for many solopreneurs and very small teams. Additionally, the features and functionality scale up very well from 1 user to 100,000 users, so it does grow with your business. So as you can see from the plans or the pricing tab right here, the $7 and the $12 per month per user plans are a fraction of the price I was paying for Monday. So simply put, ClickUp gives you enterprise level project management and capabilities at the fraction of the price. It's insanely cost effective and feature rich for any size of business. Moving on, since we've got the pricing and comparisons out of the way, let's dive deeper into the ClickUp's hierarchy and structure. Properly setting up your ClickUp is crucial before you start adding tasks and projects before we get into it. So here is the complete hierarchy explained. We've got the workspaces, which sits at the very top level and represent your whole company or team. You can have multiple workspaces if you manage different businesses or organizations. So for example, you can have separate workspaces for scaling systems and another one for your companies. Next, we have spaces, which are the next level down and represent departments, client accounts, or major divisions within your overall business workspace. Some common examples you could fill your spaces with could be marketing, sales, engineering, support, content, and other things. So typically you may end up with between 5 to 10 core spaces for most businesses. However, I would recommend avoid creating spaces that won't actually be leveraged. Folders up next let you subgroup projects and tasks within each space for better organization. So think of folders like categories or subteams within each one of the departmental spaces. And for example, the marketing space could contain social media folder, paid ads folder, content, and analytics. And finally, at the very base level, lists. Lists contain the actual tasks, to-dos, and steps that need to be completed in order to execute projects and processes. This is where the actionable work stands. So your paid ads folder may have lists for Facebook campaigns or Google Ads campaigns, maybe LinkedIn. So avoid overcomplicating your structure with too many spaces or folders and lists up front. Start simpler and evolve it over time. And now that we have the structure down, I'm going to help you start out a basic kind of hierarchy build from scratch. So when you sign up for ClickUp, it will initialize your first workspace using your account name, but you can rename this to anything that you want. Click on the workspace name in the top left corner to change it. I'm going to rename mine to Team 1. And within this workspace, click the large plus button in the left sidebar right here to create your first space, and let's call this one Marketing. So now you have your first workspace and the space itself established. As I walked through with the hierarchy, it's time to add our first folder by clicking the plus button again within the marketing space. So I can create a folder right here for the marketing section and then call it, for example, campaigns or ads. And now we're going to make our first list inside this folder by clicking the plus button once again, and we're going to create a list called Facebook campaigns. So this Facebook campaigns kind of list will be a simple place to capture kind of ideas for possible ads on Facebook, which will fall under our content marketing folder. You can add some initial tasks that you can think of right off the bat, so I'm going to be adding these ones just as an example. And just like that, we've created our first list with some starter tasks. Now let's say we also want a space to capture our content creation processes and the checklists. So click on the plus button again on the marketing one, but this time select folder and call it something else. And within that one folder, make a list called a checklist with some sample tasks. And as you just saw, with just a few simple clicks in a matter of minutes, we've now built out a company workspace, a marketing space with a content kind of folder, the Facebook campaigns ideas list, the additional folder, and the checklist. So for your own company or team now, all you want to do is that you want to rinse and repeat this easy process to populate your entire ClickUp with the workspaces, spaces, folders, and lists that you need to manage your own business. Now that we have created some starter lists, let's take a look at customizing. These lists can display our data using ClickUp's view features. By default, any new task list that you create will just show in plain text, but you can alter that and customize this based on the use case. So let's explore the various views available in ClickUp so you get the idea. List view is the standard text-based task list view. It's great for basic to-do lists and steps that don't require more visual organization. So for example, your checklist that we've created just now would work fine as a list view. There's also the board view. Board view is perfect for visualizing the workflow by creating columns that tasks can be dragged between, and this is modeled after physical Kanban boards. So for example, the marketing folder we just created could have lists displayed as boards. So the Facebook ad campaigns, production, post-production, finished, etc. There's also the calendar view, as seeing all of your tasks plotted on calendar makes scheduling and timing projects much easier. I personally like using this feature for events. There's also the table view, which is ideal for data sets like charts, reports, trackers, and other data that benefits from rows and columns. You can add a custom table column in ClickUp. There are additional views such as the box view, timeline, map, and gallery. I don't exactly use these often, and I don't think you would either, but it's nice to play around with them and see if there's a use case specific for them. But essentially, ClickUp makes it very simple to customize any list into the view that makes the most sense. So I would recommend not leaving it in the default one every single time, but rather tailor your view based on the use case and the team. And next up, we're going to look at some of my favorite and most used ClickUp features and settings that you should leverage to create more efficient workflows. You can click the star icon on important lists to favor them. Favorited lists appear in the main menu bar for quick access anytime you want. So use the favorites for the tasks. So if there are some tasks or projects that you visit daily and you don't want to spend a lot of time like navigating through them, you can just simply use the favorite section. And here we can assign multiple people to a task as the primary owner, secondary helpers, and all of that. You can configure custom notifications per assignee. And this is absolutely crucial for collaboration. Don't rely on just one owner. You can also set the task dependencies on certain steps that can only start once the other tasks are finished. This is super cool to eliminate bottlenecks. Another thing I found myself using often is the tags. You can use tags such as #urgent or feedback needed to flag tasks for better visibility. Those clickable tags can boost productivity, so don't take them lightly. And while we just discussed some awesome features, ClickUp also provides a ton of notifications that can easily become noise and distractions. So I would recommend reviewing all the notification options under your profile settings, and then ClickUp enables so many by default. And this really just depends on you and what you want to be notified about, but I would recommend disabling almost all of them except for assignments, due date reminders, checklist completions, milestone achievements, and the direct mentions. If you need any notifications outside of ClickUp, you can route them through a tool like Slack instead of enabling individually. So don't rely on notifications to manage your tasks. Check ClickUp daily without prompts. The goal is avoiding context switching and reactivity. Focus deeply when in ClickUp without disruptions. So this is just a tip on the side to help you with your deep work and with your productivity overall. So set up your notifications completely based on actual needs versus nice to haves. Distractions kill productivity. And speaking of productivity, ClickUp offers amazing integrations to connect your other tools into one ecosystem. You can leverage Google Calendar to sync ClickUp tasks with the Google Calendar integration. That way you can schedule effortlessly when planning out your days. There is a very popular Slack one, as you can create ClickUp tasks directly in Slack channels so that your work conversations automatically carry over. Zoom is another important one, as you can start instant Zoom video calls with just one click from ClickUp tasks, no manual dialing required. And if you are considering the switch up from Asana, Trello, or Jira, you can get the integration to migrate projects over from the other legacy tools or just keep them in sync. There is a two-way sync available. Some other ones that I think of which can be important to you is Dropbox or Google Drive. You can attach files from Dropbox and Drive seamlessly. Data lives natively in ClickUp. Zapier can automate countless workflows and its thousands of app integrations. And the last one I want to mention is Gmail and Outlook. It can capture any important emails as ClickUp tasks automatically to centralize your work. So choose the integrations depending on your own workflow and your business. Don't just over integrate for the heck of it. This could get confusing or make some clutter on your work, so keep everything organized and only use the ones that you want to be using daily. Focusing on uniting your core apps to create an integrated ecosystem with ClickUp is the core base of this entire platform. Next up, we're talking about onboarding your team onto ClickUp. If you're bringing your existing team or company onto ClickUp, then make sure to keep these things in mind. I would recommend setting clear objectives as you want to explain the reasons you're adopting ClickUp, and set clear objectives aligned to your business goals so the why is clear. Also, you might want to install slowly into ClickUp, so resist dumping all the features on users at once, unlock capabilities when the need arises. You can gather continuous feedback, reward results, and highlight progress with sharing analytics on time savings or productivity gains, maybe goals achieved thanks to ClickUp. It's just all about driving adoption that requires thoughtful change management and buy-in at all levels, so take time to onboard properly and the ROI will be massive. And finally, I want to quickly talk about some common ClickUp mistakes that I always see and you should be avoiding. And the most common one that I see is overcomplicating the structure with too many unnecessary spaces, folders and lists up front versus evolving it over time. Turning on every feature all at once without aligning them to actual needs, so prioritize the basics first. Sometimes you may not take enough time to properly train yourself and the team. ClickUp has learning curves, so don't expect to know everything from the start. Using improper views for particular workflows because they did not put effort into customizing properly is another mistake that I often see. There's another one that I highlighted early on in this video, which is enabling all notifications and constantly getting distracted by non-essential pings, so turn these off if you haven't already. Or maybe having messy giant task lists versus breaking down projects into subtasks and checklists, or not leveraging dependencies, checklists, and custom fields for more efficient workflows. So the key here is keeping everything from your setup to your initial workflows very simple, and thoughtfully customizing your workflows to establish a ClickUp routine. I guarantee that ClickUp will transform your productivity with some commitment and consistency. And with that, we will have reached the end of this video. Let us know if you have any other questions in the comment section down below. We'll be happily answering them. And if you found today's video to be helpful or informative to watch, then let us know by giving it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you don't miss out on any follow-up content that we can create related to this one.